With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Back in action once again, gonna hit a long road course here tonight down in Austin, Texas, here at Circuit of the Americas for the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series, race number 7 here in season number 9. Derek Moore proving why he is your points leader, going to victory lane last week at Kansas. How will Moore go tonight? A little bit of a struggle in happy hour for Derek Moore. We'll see if he can't turn things around here in the qualifying session. No time lapse turned in just yet. A little bit of a hot track tonight, 95 degrees here in Austin. Clouds begin to roll in, so the grip levels may go up as the track temperature heads down. Speaking of heading down, why don't we head down trackside, bring some of those qualifying times up to the left-hand side of your screen. Still awaiting that first time lap and only 2 minutes remaining on the stopwatch. Who's going to walk away with your Premier Racing Setup Pole Award here tonight? Dave Gage was one of the fast drivers in happy hour. Will we be able to get something done here tonight in qualifying? It looks like nobody turning in a timed lap just yet, so we're still waiting to see who is going to walk away with the pole award as the music fades into the background, still awaiting the top time. With only 30 seconds to go, looks like this might be a luck of the draw. It looks like it will be the luck of the draw here tonight at Circuit of the Americas. Nobody going to lay down a qualifying time, and we're going to shift gears. Head trackside for your national anthem, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back live with all your green flag action right here from Circuit of the Americas.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular their bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And right back trackside after the flyover finishes, drivers ready to make their way to their starting positions, awaiting it looks to be about 4 to 5 drivers to get to the starting grid before we kick things off here tonight. From the United States Grand Prix right here from Circuit of the Americas. Tell you what, while we've got some time on our hands, I believe we have it. We're going to have to take a look here. Guys, do we have those point standings over there available to toss up for the fans? Do we got that? Well, you're the stat guy over there. Okay, all right. Sorry. Fun in the production booth as we await drivers to head to their starting positions. There you can see your point standings coming into tonight's race, sitting top of the point standings behind the wheel of his 16 machine, 3 race wins in his back pocket. Will he make it a 4th tonight? He's going to have to overcome some odds outside of the top 5 here on the starting grid. As we get ready to roll, the field has received the official word, and we will bring these machines to life for the first time here tonight from Circuit of the Americas. There you can see the iRacing Porsche pace car beginning to roll So as you hear those familiar sounds in the background, you know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup in the United States Grand Prix right here with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Nick Burlow turning in the fast time 22:69. Will take the top spot. Who'll lead us to the green flag with Doug Argabright just to his outside. Nicholas Wing and Christian Abati in row 2. Row 3, Dave Gage and Derek Moore. Lieutenant Carlos Ramos and Alan Bledsoe make up row number 4. And in row number 5 tonight, behind the wheel of that Ford machine, Daniel Jensen at the 77 of John Timms just to his outside. Row number 6 here tonight, 38 of Zach Miller, followed by the 13 of Jake Duffy. Watch out for Duffy to make his way through the field. One of the road course aces here with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Leading us to the final drivers in the field, the 91 of Patrick Porro and the 18 of TJ Grove. Well, there it is. There you have it. Your starting lineup in the United States Grand Prix, live here from Circuit of the Americas. Drivers through the final corners. And we're going to let these guys go. Out of the final corner. Into the restart zone we roll for the first time. We will nail the loud pedal and put this thing. And here tonight from Austin, Texas, on the gas and green. Flag flies. 25 to go here tonight. Already ready to start this thing off with the countdown. Quickly into turn 151. Nice and easy into turn 1. No trouble for anybody just yet. Field looks clean. Dave Gage pushing it 3 wide for a moment, looking for a spot on the inside. A little bit of trouble now, slow to the outside, giving up those positions. Dave Gage made a bomb in 1, but had to give up a ton of time. Threw this on middle S's, the chicanes, if you will. But you're going to be a tried portion of the track throughout tonight's race. You got to be very smooth through here. You can be very easy to over squeeze the throttle on one of these corner exits. Argabright with Swift company behind him. The Red List Podcast. 45 of Christian Abati going to look to the inside, take the position away. Argabright back to 3rd. Here comes Derek Moore. Down into the braking zone. Moore looking for the position. Has the line and will take it through the hairpin. A lot of passes, a lot of ground being made by a handful of drivers. Lieutenant Carlos Ramos making some moves. He's up 2 positions now into the 5th spot. Nicholas Wing going to fall back to 6th. Bledsoe up to 7th. Gage down 3 positions all the way back to 8th. Everybody able to keep it on the track so far. No off-track incidents for any driver in the field. Heading to this double right-hander here. This is going to be a pretty tricky corner. That second apex is kind of out of sight. It's more of that blind corner that we're more familiar with hearing about over in Indy style of racing, or Formula 1, Formula E for that matter. A few IMSA tracks lend their hands to those blind corners, those blind exits. You kind of can't really tell where you're at, but lap number 1 going to go in the books. Ramos with a little bit of trouble as Nick Burlow going to lead us up the hill back to turn number 1. Your pole sitter here tonight maintains the race lead. Nice little run through turn 1. We'll watch him downhill. Right-hander. Top 3 starting to scoot away just a little bit. 45 starting to close in just a little bit. They'll make their way down here to the hairpin. The first time here tonight, looks like that 51 gonna have a little bit of company. His rear deck with lap number 2 on the board, 24 to go early here tonight in the United States Grand Prix. Brought to you by the ASMR, Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Just at the halfway point in the season as well, so what a way to stamp the mark on that second half of the season, kicking it off here with just a sprawling, enormous racetrack here in Austin, Texas. 3.34 miles around this 20-plus turn facility. Just an amazing track, an amazing venue here in Texas. And, well, as anything, everything's bigger and better in Texas, and, well, they definitely are backing that saying up here with this road course. Watch it as Christian Abate still trying to heat up Nick Burlow for the race lead. Tight little moment here. Turn number 20, 1, 2, 3 across the line this time around. Nick Burlow leads Abate and more. Hanging on, sitting in third final position on the podium. And that's how you continue to lead the point standings, right? Moore came into tonight's race just 10 points ahead of his competition, but having a solid run here tonight, up 3 positions from where he qualified into third. That's going to give him a solid points day. Moore looking to just to finish this thing off from where he's at behind the wheel of that Harbor Freight Ford Mustang. Sitting in third, we're going to head back a little bit further in the pack. Let's take a look at the battle going on back here. Daniel Jensen and John Tim starting to heat things up with each other. Looking for all the battles that we can out on the racetrack. We're going to transition a little forward here. Let's take a look at the Howling, Texaco Howling 99 of Nicholas Wing. Wing does have company behind him. There you can see Alan Bledsoe, that familiar, iconic DuPont paint scheme. On board once again with Bledsoe. It's kind of his calling card. I don't believe we've seen him in any other paint this season, have we, guys? Let's take a little look off the front end on this 24 of Bledsoe as he tries to close in on Wing. There you can see him charge the corner. Getting down into the final few sections here on this 20-plus turn road course. Gonna come back across here to the double right-hander, and you can see way over there in the distance, that's the corner exit that you're really trying to look for and search for. And a little breathe on the throttle there, on the gas, jumps right back out, lets the car roll downhill into the final corner, giving up a little bit of time as we ride on board with Alan Bledsoe. We're gonna jump around the track just a little bit, trying to bring you some more of the action if we can. Let's head up here. Zach Millen, the U.S. Army Toyota Super. We got 2-3 wide racing. Dave Gage going to run wide there. Let's go back to that battle, guys. That's a hot and heated one. Doping, Ramos, Gage. All within striking distance. If a driver has an issue, it's going to compound the problems, because here's Daniel Jensen in the mix now. 4 drivers, all within about a second and a half of each other. And here on these road courses, a second and a half, that's just one minor mistake. One miss of the braking zone, one wheel hop going into the corner. Second can be gained and lost in the blink of an eye, a fraction of a second, just as quickly as things happen at restrictor plate races Things at road courses can add up pretty quick. We are hearing down a cylinder for TJ Gruber. He did not leave the garage here tonight. Really working feverishly during qualifying, trying to get the engine swapped down to get everything back into racing condition, but unfortunately the time will run out. TJ Gruber will walk away with the final spot here tonight in 14th. A tough break and a tough luck when you have engine failure at a road course. It kind of puts a big damper on the day. Speaking of damper, we're going to have to keep our eye on this weather. More clouds seem to be rolling in here at Circuit of the Americas. You're watching the U.S. Grand Prix. Gauge sideways through the corner. That's one way to do it. Not so sure the tires are going to agree with that one, but did you see him throttle that thing up and just power through it? Meanwhile, at the front, what has happened? Some problems up here at the front. Christian Avanti on a move, on a tear, takes away that top spot from Burlow, as Burlow's going to fall back to third now. Had a little bit of a moment. Let's go back to the pass with more. There you can see slideways out of the corner for the 51. A little bit of contact for that 16, and oh, it may have been a lot worse than what we initially thought it and had reported. Slight contact with that inside wall. If it had have been any harder, there may have been troubles, but we'll head back up the front of this field. Christian Avanti leading by 2.3. Derek Moore now sitting in second. Third place belongs to your pole sitter, Nick Burlow. Doug Argerbright back in the fourth position, and Nicholas Wing moving to fifth. And talk about a tough little schedule here, right? Let's discuss the schedule over the course of this past month alone. Drivers headed into Kern County Raceway for the first time ever behind the wheel of these Hauck Designs Xfinity rides. 169 laps at Kern, followed by a bit of a breather. 118 laps at Kansas last week. We're going to hit it off with Circuit of the Americas here tonight with the United States Grand Prix. 25 laps of road course racing action, and we're going to follow it up with one of, if not the toughest track on the schedule. Personally speaking, we're heading to Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame. Darlington Raceway will finish out the month of April of racing for the Hauck Designs Xfinity Series here by the American Sim Motor Racing League on iRacing.com. Darlington gonna be one of it's gonna be just as hard in my opinion next week as it is here this week. Darlington, a very technical, tough track to get around, let alone manhandle and walk away with a victory. See who's able to navigate their way around tonight's race as well as next week. Mark it on your calendars. Better yet, hit that little notification bell on the right-hand side of your screen there. Get notified when we go live next week for the race at Darlington, the Bojangles 500 from Darlington Raceway, coming at you next week right here with the ASM or Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Gonna jump around the track just a little bit. Let's go back to some of the battles, some of the action. Let's check in here. Let's see what's going on. Looks like Alan Bledsoe still trying to chase after the drivers in front. Carlos Ramos gonna stick inside. Doug Arterbright with a big moment. Bledsoe gonna easily take that position away. Bledsoe slowly moving to the front of this field. Jake Dofing making up a handful of positions here tonight behind the wheel of his Zen Ford Mustang, the 13th. Started back in the 12th position, has made a run up to 8th right now. Now breathing down the neck of Carlos Ramos. We'll get back to that battle if that gap closes in anymore. We're going to continue to watch this one for just a moment. Arterbright trying to reel back in Bledsoe for that final spot inside of your top 5. Bledsoe going to make his way through turns 8 and 9, head down the hill to turn number 10. Still trying to track down Nicholas Wing, keeping Doug Arterbright behind him, the hairpin. Coming at you. There you can see Wing making his way through. Field stretched out just a little bit from there, down into the corner, down into the hairpin. There you can see that's going to be the 16. No, that's going to be the 51 of Nick Burlow. Burlow going to make his way by in third. Fourth place runner Nicholas Wing coming into the picture now. Wing going to make his way through the hairpin. Drivers hustling these cars around this 20-turn massive road course here in Austin, Texas. Going to rejoin the fight right here with Alan Bledsoe. Still able to keep the Hot Wheels 41 at bay for the time being. Doug Arterbright going to struggle sitting in that 6th position. Started from 2nd, down 4 positions so far here tonight. Arterbright's trying to stop the bleeding, and if he can. And what about pit stops? We haven't even begun to think about green flag pit stops here tonight. Big thing at Circuit of the Americas. Car facing the opposite direction. You know, these crews are used to jumping over the wall on the driver's side. Well, they're going to still do it on the driver's side here. What do you mean it's backwards, guys? It's not backwards. No, even the pit road entry is still on the same. Yeah, what do you... Good help is hard to find, I'll tell you that. Nonetheless, we're going to keep some great action going here live tonight with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series U.S. Grand Prix from Circuit of the Americas. Lap number 7 is on the board. We've got 18 to go here. Race leader stepping out to a 1.2 second advantage. Christian Abate not able to really slide away from Derek Moore. as Burlow has had some problems and dropped a little bit behind on the scoring charts. Burlow comfortably sitting in that third position. Nicholas Wing trying to close in, but 4 seconds back. Another 4 seconds back to this battle on screen between Alan Bledsoe and Doug Alderman, Carlos Ramos, Jake Duffy, Daniel Jensen, and Dave Gage finish out your top 10. And there it is, green flag pit stop from the front of the field. Nick Burlow going to head to pit road here on lap number 8. Interesting concept. Is it a short pit, a true short pit? Will he have to hit pit road again? Or is he running the race backwards? Has that fuel window finally opened up for these drivers? 25 lap race. I would expect just one pit stop here tonight from the Circuit of the Americas blend. I mean, a 3.3 mile track. 8 laps in, you're already. What is that? Somebody help me here with the math, please. 25 plus miles. Doesn't sound like the gas mileage I would like to be getting, I'll tell you that. Glad I don't pay the fuel bill. So only one driver heading to pit road early here tonight. Nick Burlow going to be the only driver to have headed down pit lane for fresh tires for that 51 who's had a pretty clean night here tonight. Things starting to heat up just a little bit here. 3rd, 4th, 5th on the racetrack. Nicholas Wing taking over that 3rd position after the pit stop by Burlow. Bledsoe still trying to reel him in, unable to shake Arthur Bright for the moment. The Hot Wheels, number 41. Looking to reclaim a handful of positions that he had at the start of tonight's race. Meanwhile, Bledsoe up 4 spots, one of the biggest movers in tonight's race. I don't know. Jake Duffy, that 13 Zen machine. He's got a fast Mustang. In the back of this field, I would expect once we see him get a good amount of clean air and a good amount of clean track, look for him to really make some headway and start to close in on those drivers in front. Battle continuing to rage here for that 4th and 5th position. Dave Gage starting to close in as well. I believe that is going to be on the tail end of the 77 of John Timms. Closest, tightest battle back here with Burlow and Ramos. Fresh tires for Burlow will prevail. Burlow will make the pass. A little bit more action starting to unfold. Let's head back here real quick. Let's check in on Dave Gage trying to make the pass on that 77 of John Timms. A little bit of sliding out of the rear of that Xfinity ride. Chevy Camaro a little bit out of shape out of that corner. Things getting heated at the front. Back here once again, Bledsoe. Man, I'm telling you, watch this 24. He's showing some speed here in this long run. Able to step away from Argabright, who's going to peel off of the racing surface and head to pit road, overshooting the corner, uses the runoff just a little bit. Texaco Havoline Ford Mustang, piloted by Nicholas Wing, will keep the third position for now, as Bledsoe continues to try to run him down. Christian Abate out front, continuing to lead the way. Derek Moore sitting in second comfortably with about a 30-second advantage over third place. He set comfortably. One mishap through a corner, and here it is. Derek Moore closing in to within 1 second of your race leaders. They'll head down the long stretch and into the tight left-hander here. Gonna work their way through the backside of the track. Turns 13, 14, 15 coming up. It's getting good here at C.O.TA, United States Grand Prix. Brought to you by the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series, live here from Austin, Texas. Thanks for joining us tonight if you just tuned in. 25 laps of road course racing action here at Circuit of the Americas, one of the biggest, baddest, most technical road courses. Yeah, I said it. Here in the United States, and just, I don't know. That's just me. That's my opinion. Up into one, we'll follow the drivers around the track for just a lap. There you can see your two race leaders out front through turns 1. Heading down the hill to the right-hander. Turn number 2. Turns 3 through 7 coming at you through the S's. There you can see Abate utilizing the curbing, but keen to not overstep and hit those sausage curbs, those yellow arch curbs right there. Gonna toss the front into the car for a big loop, and you really don't want to be doing that. Down through turns 9 and 10, coming at you to the hairpin. This time around, Abate leads by 5 car lengths. Driver's going to head down the long stretch. Once again, Christian Abate keeping that Red Mist Podcast Camaro out front, stepping it back out to a 1.5 second advantage. Moore going to sit in second. Nicholas Wing still in third. Nick Burlow recovering well with those fresh tires. You can look at it over there on the timing and scoring. He's within 2 seconds. 2 seconds of Nicholas Wing, who is yet to make his green flag pit stop, so he will pick up that position. But we're looking at the timing and scoring. Burlow, for the moment after the pass, reclaiming that third position on the podium. Burlow will now sit 46 seconds behind your race leader. Pit road delta, 43 seconds. So he's got to make up some time here in these next handful of laps. And there it is. Abati sees what's coming, sees what's happening, and he heads to pit road. And that's going to bring Derek Moore right along with him. So let's go back here with that Mobile 1 oil. Ford Mustang of Nick Burlow, who brought us to the green flag, your premier racing setup pole award winner, looking to reclaim the top spot. Pit stops completed for both Abati and Moore. Burlow with still quite a bit of track laid out ahead of him. There you can see off of pit road into turn number 1 already. So able to keep themselves out front. Burlow able to close that gap. Surprisingly able to close that gap tremendously. Over a 30-second gain now. So an amazing job. The short pit did not work out for Burlow, as Nicholas Wing going to bring that 99 to the attention of the crew. And a good job on and off pit road for Christian Abati. He's going to be about 0.2 of a second faster on and off pit road than both Derek Moore, and about 0.4, almost a half a second faster on and off pit road than Nick Burlow, and that has translated into quite a bit of an advantage. No longer on your screen. There you can catch a glimpse of him back in the background. You see just a streaking shot of that 51 of Burlow in the background as well. Abati now, I don't want to say comfortably, right, 3-second advantage at a 20-plus turn road course. Doesn't leave you a lot of room for error, but it leaves you a lot to build on. Patrick Coro coming to pit lane moments ago. The 91 sitting back outside of your top 10, sitting in that 12th position. Drumble tonight strikes a 38 of Zach Miller. He's going to remain on pit road for an extended stay. Crew's got the Sawzaws out there beating and banging, trying to get that Toyota Supra back out on the racetrack. Handful of drivers haven't even hit pit road yet. I mean, we've got a pretty big mix of bags here as far as the fuel and tire strategy. Burlow, earliest driver to pit road on lap number 8. Drivers in on lap number 10 as well as lap number 12. But we still got 4 drivers that have yet to hit pit road. Just as we say that, 2 of them gonna head to pit lane. Carlos Ramos and Alan Bledsoe gonna bring their machines to the attention of their crew members. Jake Dauphin gonna move now into that 4th position, and Jake, he's yet to make a pit stop as well here tonight. So that 13 may fall a little further back in the running order in the closing stages of tonight's United States Grand Prix, right here with the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. And with the gaps now establishing themselves, we're going to jump around a little bit. Well, there you go. We can watch Alan Bledsoe get serviced on pit road. Bledsoe going to be in pit lane for an extended stay. Looks like some problems for that 24. There you can see John Timms also on pit lane. Let's go take a look at the Zen 13 machine. We're awaiting his pit stop still here tonight. Has yet to pit. He will be the final driver to hit pit lane. And I don't know. Can you make it on one tank of fuel? Is it worth the time you're gonna give up? Oh, big wheel hop into the corner. You can see the car sliding all sorts of out of shape with the 13 able to corral it. You put underneath him and he'll keep fighting on here tonight. The rear of that car not happy right now. Very unsettled through these corners. The 13 just absolutely. He's giving up a ton of time right now. Doug Argerbright behind him on the scoring charts. Gosh, I promise I can talk. Having a little bit of trouble stuttering here tonight, but nonetheless, Argerbright at 2:22.76. Last time around, Dofing with a 2:26.96. So over a 4-second difference, and there it is. White flag has been waved. The Snake River Racing 13 machine gonna pull his Mustang down pit road, looking to try to minimize the positions lost. We'll watch where Dofing goes and see if he can't rerun his way through this field. Meanwhile, watching Derek Moore dealing with lap traffic. Patrick Moore in the Ben Warden Camaro right behind him. Goro listed one lap down. Alan Bledsoe looks to keep himself in a lucky dog position, but you're not going to find a yellow flag here tonight at Circuit of the Americas. Only local yellows here in the road course racing action with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Alan Bledsoe also listed off of the lead lap. You can see just out in front of Bledsoe was your race leaders. For the moment, 10 drivers remain on the lead lap. Dave Gage in danger of being the next driver to fall off of the lead lap. We just witnessed Derek Moore taking his Harbor Freight 16 machined around Alan Bledsoe. The 24 continuing to fall back after trouble in a lengthy stay on pit lane. What a tale of two races here tonight in Texas for that 24. Big moment there for Moore as Gage was out of shape right there in front of him. Big moment with the lap traffic for the man sitting in second. And looking back, Burlow has not been able to close in anymore, faltering at the pace now. Burlow sitting in a good spot in that third position. He does have about a 23-second advantage over Doug Argerbright sitting in fourth. So Burlow just looking to reel this thing on in, bring it on home nice and easy here in the closing stages of tonight's race. more through the final corner. Dave Gage going to follow suit. Alan Bledsoe right behind. I tell you what, let's go to the battle. Let's go to the man with the freshest tires on the track. Jake Dofing now starting to close in on Carlos Ramos, the 97, sitting in the 6th position here. Up one spot from where he qualified. He's just kind of been stagnant tonight, right? Ramos pretty quick in happy hour. If we're remembering the timing and scoring right, was sitting about 4th on the speed charts in happy hour, but unfortunately something, a little bit of a miss in the racing setup. Ramos just hasn't really been able to move through the field or around the track the way that we witnessed him able to maneuver the car through the corners, especially that the S's, turns 3 through 7. A very critical, very crucial point here at Circuit of the Americas, and something just not quite right with that 97. Still trying to soldier on. No pun intended, Lieutenant, but it's still trying to soldier on here to finish with a good points day. On the outside of the top 5, looking in, Doping starting to close in once again. Race leader Christian Abate checking out with 9 to go. 5.5 second advantage for your race leader. Duffing losing a little bit of ground now to that 97. Ramos putting the power down, getting his drive on for the moment, starting to walk away, open things up about a 10 car advantage, heading down into the hairpin. And even with the fresh tires, I think Duffing's going to have his work cut out for him. Where do we want to go, race fans? Where do we want to go? Let's jump around the track just a little bit, trying to bring you some more of the action here tonight from Circuit of the Americas. Going to keep our eyes on these two, because there it is. What was a 10-car length advantage now down to 3. And Nick Burlow back to pit road. Nick Burlow back to pit road. This could be a big moment in the race here tonight. Burlow headed down pit road back on lap number 8. He does not have enough fuel. He will lose a handful of positions here. Does this now play into the hands of Carlos Ramos, of Jake Dofing, fighting it out for what could be the eventual race win? We've got drivers to pit road on lap number 12. Will they have enough to stretch the fuel? 13 going to make a move. Oh, big lock up. Big lock up, and that's going to open up the inside. The final corner. Big mishap and mistake right there. Taking one position. Dofing going to go hot into the final corner. Cook those rear tires and give the position back to Ramos. Could we see fuel mileage be the factor here tonight? It's been a while since we've seen a road course decided on fuel mileage. Believe it or not, the tracks that you think would lend their hand more to that fuel strategy, being those road courses, we don't typically see the fuel strategy end of things really play a huge factor, but here tonight, it may end up showing up big at the end of tonight's race. Burnlow gonna fall right back into the clutches of Doug Argerbright, so able to keep himself inside of a podium position. Fresh tires now for Burnlow. He's gonna make some headway but he is a long way back. Dauphin still trying to close in, just unable to really do anything with it at the moment. We'll rejoin this battle in just a few moments. Meanwhile, let's head back up here. Let's take a look once again at your points leader coming into tonight's race behind the wheel of his Harbor Freights number 16 Ford Mustang. Derek Moore up 4 positions from where he qualified tonight, so a solid, great run so far. Here for that 16, just looking to be consistent now. He's got those race wins in his back pocket. Only driver to visit victory lane multiple times this season, so he's got winning figured out. But he's got to figure out now. He's had to have those consistent podium finishes. It's not always about being the first across the start finish line. Well, who am I kidding? It's always about winning. I mean, in the famous words of Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you last. I mean, don't nobody come to the racetrack to try to finish second, let's be honest. But sometimes in the course of a race, weekend, we find ourselves where we see the inevitable, right? We see it out there in front of us. If you're behind the wheel of this 16, you've got 6 laps to go. Abati out to a 6-second advantage. You're going to have to pick up a second a lap to have a shot. That's just getting you there. That's not getting you by them. You got to pick your passes properly, set yourself up for the right position to make the pass on the road course. So getting there is one thing, passing is another. But with only 6 laps to go, less than 6 now, 6+ seconds on the time, on the time. I mean, Abati's gonna have to have at least 2 big moments. So the inevitability of just finishing second, slowly starting to settle in for Derek Moore. And this is where you can't afford to make that mental mistake. Solid points on the line. No need to overdrive the car. As we've already said, over 6 seconds, you're probably not going to reel them in. Let's just be honest. The man out front, Christian Abati, since gaining the race lead, he has been in full control of tonight's United States Grand Prix here from Circuit of the Americas with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. So if you're Moore, you're just looking to finish things off and start to get those consistent finishes week in, week out. Build that momentum at the end of the season and hopefully walk away with the Season 9 championship crown. We've got a handful of weeks still before we get into that. And we've got gonna be just a little over 10 miles of racing action remaining here tonight from Circuit of the Americas. With very limited lead changes here tonight, too. I think we've only seen 3 lead changes tonight. We're going to have the stat guys look back on that, but I do believe only 3 lead changes here tonight. So real estate at the front of this field is very coveted. Gaps going away. Distances being sustained here the late goings for the United States Grand Prix here at Circuit of the Americas. Jake Dofing, the only driver that looks like he's beginning to make some moves and some headway, sitting in that 7th position, still battling it out with Carlos Ramos for the moment. But the more we're starting to analyze this thing, there you can see on the timing and scoring, Dofing as well as Ramos 1.5 seconds back. I mean, 1.5 minutes back. Multiple seconds. 1.5 minutes back. Race leaders, they're going to be able to hit pit road, rejoin the track without losing a position to either of these two drivers. So the extension of that initial fuel run may not pan out to be the right strategy at the end of tonight's race. What it's done, though, is give these drivers some pretty fresh tires to mix things up over the final few laps. So I think if we're going to see... Whoa, and Patrick Coro around in turn number 1. Patrick Coro going to go around in turn 1. Talk about an eye-opening moment, resting the hill. All of a sudden, you got a car sitting in the middle of the track, looping it. In turn number 1 was Patrick Coro. Well done by both Ramos and Dofing to miss the man in the middle. Back out front with your race leader checked out 5.5 seconds in front of this field. Christian Devontae showing the way. 4 laps remain as he makes his way through the S's once again. In trouble for the 404 of Dave Gage. He is not found on the racetrack. The 404 going to hit to pit road with late race troubles. The PR Taco Palace and Margarita Bar machine was running good here tonight. Came into tonight's race tied in a 3-way tie. 20 points back from your overall points leader. Tied with Alan Bledsoe and Daniel Jensen, both still out on the track, so Gage is going to lose a little bit of ground in the point standings to both of those drivers. Back around the final corner, we're going to cross the stripe, leave us with just 3 laps to go. Here tonight, the United States Grand Prix, brought to you by the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Want to take a moment to give a shout out to all of the sponsors here this season with the league joining us once again. Title series sponsor Hauck Designs. If you're in the market for a new look, you need a fresh fit, you're trying to get your pit crew spiced up, looking better down there on pit road, they can do it all. They're one-stop shop for all your graphic needs. Once again, that's Hauck Designs. You can find them all at Facebook.com. Big shout out, as always, to perennial sponsor here, Win the Network Butt Kicker, putting all the feeling right underneath your feet. Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Looking for the best beef jerky around? You can find it at beefjerkyunlimited.com. They've got something for everyone, from sweet to heat. They've got it all, from chicken jerky, turkey jerky, to pork jerky as well. Some amazing flavors over there. Check them out at beefjerkyunlimited.com. Once again, beefjerkyunlimited.com. Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet for all your original Intimidator gear. Head on over to the website, DaleEarnhardtChevrolet.com. Got some great deals going on some fabulous rides right now. Put a brand new Chevy Trailblazer in my driveway. So a big tip of the cap to Tommy, as well as Brian and everybody else over there at Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. Located in Newton, North Carolina. Don't forget about the souvenir shop before you head on out. Once again, that's DaleEarnhardtChevrolet.com. And as Abati heads across the line, popsicle sticks on display, 2 to go here from Circuit of the Americas. A huge shout out to our qualifying session and pole award sponsor, longest running setup shop on the internet for iRacing.com. Yes, that's right, the granddaddy of them all, the big daddy of them all, the big dog that runs the yard. Premier Racing Setups.com. Premier Racing Setups, longest running setup shop out there. And there's a reason for it. If you're looking for the true edge over your competition, if you're looking for some great one-on-one coaching or some live coaching, they've got it all over there. Whether you're on the pavement or you're kicking up the dust at the dirt track, they've got everything you need over there. You get to head on over, check out some great setups from some great crew chiefs. Once again, that's PremierRacingSetups.com. So with all the sponsors taken care of and out of the way, we can now begin to transition into the final moments of tonight's race, down the long stretch into the final few corners. Christian Abati has opened things up to over a 6-second advantage. Derek Moore has not been able to close in the last 5 laps. Abati through and around in to the back side of the track. He's gonna look to come around the double right-hander once again down into the final corner. Coming across the stripe, this time by, we will see that white flag fly as the final lap begins here at Circuit of the Americas. Christian Abati going to receive the 1 to go here in the United States Grand Prix. And it looks like Moore has settled into that position, not pushing any longer, losing a little bit of ground, but playing it safe instead of being sorry. Derek Moore looks to finish out tonight's race from second. Nick Burnlow back in third. Arthur Wright sits in fourth, and Dofing able to claw his way into fifth. Biggest mover on tonight's race is Jane Tofing in that Zen 13 Ford Mustang, up 7 positions, so a great run here tonight from Circuit of the Americas, the Ford Tofing. Long night of racing action. A lot of clean windshield time for this 45 of Christian Avanti. Started back in the 4th position outside of row number 2. Grabbed a spot on the opening lap, waited in the wings, and then pounced on the opportunity. Took the race lead on lap number 5 and has not looked back. Christian Avanti heading through the final few corners here tonight from Austin, Texas, looking ahead to victory lane for the first time here in season number 9. Christian Avanti through the final corner and across the line, picking up his first checkered flag. The 45 of Avanti will win here at Circuit of the Americas. Great job. What a run there. You can see Derek Moore coming into the picture. He's going to show some love and appreciation as quickly into the post-race celebration. It's a smoke show on the front stretch with your race leader, your race winner. Burning it down, Christian Avanti going to pick up the win. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. it back trackside, high above, looking down at this sprawling 3.3 mile, 20 plus turn road course here nestled in Austin, Texas, a circuit of the Americas, home to tonight's United States Grand Prix with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. We watched one hell of a road course race here tonight. We're not gonna keep you fans waiting. We're gonna dive right into these post-race interviews. Let's get a word with the man that finished in third here tonight behind the wheel of that 51. Nick, it's Dave. You got a copy?
I hear you got me.
Absolutely, sir, man. How you doing? How you feeling after walking away with a solid podium performance here tonight from C.O.TA?
A little more tired than most races, with a lot of shifting.
So 20 plus turns. You just mentioned a lot of shifting. You're getting what? Let's see. God, you probably lost count how many shifts per lap. I would say probably, let's see, 20 corners. You're looking at let's call it 50. You think 50 gear changes a lap is good?
No, I think it's way less than that. I mean, I think through the S's and all the way up to like turn 10, I'm in third the whole time. So it's just mostly shifting a lot for those long braking zones into turn 1, then down the back straight, whatever that corner is. But everything else is pretty much, for the most part, in a single gear. But there's not a. I need to go back and count them, but they're probably like 20 to 22. I would say is probably more accurate, but I don't know. I've never counted it, so.
Well, we've got the bad apple out of the way, if you will. A lot of people not necessarily the road course ringers here with the ASMR series, but we're gonna switch gears and go back to a very tough track next week. What's your thoughts moving forward as we look forward to Darlington?
Oh, Darlington's always one of those tracks that either run really good or really bad and eat the wall a lot. So I guess we'll see at the end of that how this conversation goes. Hopefully we have a conversation, but you know.
Well, we
shall
hope we
see.
get to talk to you next week as well, man. Finish up and continue some momentum from the road course into a tough little track that Darlington is. I'm not personally a fan, but that's why I'm not in the car. But we'll move on from there. Nick, hell of a job here tonight. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, absolutely. It's out to everyone in the group. It was probably a little bit more of a boring race today. Everyone's pretty spread out, but it was pretty clean racing for the most part that I saw. Every wreck was pretty much self-spinners. A shout out to you for always making a good stream. Gonna go check it out, even though it's probably a few laps of activity from my end on there, but we shall see how it goes. And Ed Hauck just for always having good designs on, I feel like half the field in here, so.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, again, congratulations on a great points day. Another podium finish for you. We hope to talk to you a handful of times before the end of this season. Who knows, maybe we'll speak again at the end of next week's race at Darlington. But until then, my friends, stay safe and keep it fast.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from the man that walks away third here tonight. Podium finish for that Mobile 151 machine after snatching the Premier Racing Senate Pole Award. Fell back through the field a little bit, got on a different pit strategy and different pit cycle, but Nick Burlow will finish on the podium here tonight. Walk away with third, and that's going to move us right along. Let's see if we can't have a word or two with the man that walked away in second here tonight behind the wheel of that Harbor Freight's machine. Back on a podium once again, Derek. It's not first, but it's still a podium finish and a great points day. How you feeling after tonight's race?
Stinky. About what I wanted to get from this race. I knew Christian was probably going to have this one locked up. I'm happy with how I kept it somewhat reasonably close throughout the race. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty much his race to win, I felt like, and just running second to him is job well done for me, I think.
Well, we're back to oval racing next week. We're heading to Darlington, track 2, Tough to Tame, and then we're gonna go over to the West Coast a little bit. Well, I like to call it the West Coast. We're gonna head to Vegas. So out of the two, to me it's an easy choice, but which one you like?
You know, I haven't raced at Darlington in a little
Oh
bit,
boy.
but I feel like I'm pretty decent there. Um, my skills have sharpened a little bit since the last time we raced there, so I think I'll be pretty good there. Vegas, I know I'll be pretty good, but I think a lot more people will be good there too. So really either one. I'm looking forward to Darlington just because it's such a fun track and it's just really about the driver and getting around that narrow little one lane track as fast as you can.
And for some reason, I knew you were going to pick Darlington, and I like Sin City myself, not really because of the racetrack, but because I get to go gambling while I wait for the racing action. But that's a whole different story that we won't get into. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. You came into tonight's race 10 points out front, the points lead. You're going to pad that just a little bit. As some drivers had some struggles behind you, but a solid night here tonight. Another podium finish. Got to be happy about everything and the way the season is going. Before we let you go here tonight, Derek, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
Oh, just as always, shout out to you for broadcasting and shout out to the admins for putting these races on every week. I have a ton of fun. Every single time I run. Shout out to my fiance, getting married in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that. And then shout out to my dad. We brought home the win in the go-kart series on Sunday. So having a pretty good time behind the wheel lately. So just want to thank everybody who's helping put this on and helping me out.
Well, man,
Oh, and the teammates and Christian. Good win, Christian.
forget about that guy. No, I'm just playing, well, congratulations on the win off track. Well, off the platform and on the platform as of late. Congratulations on the wedding coming up. The marriage right around the corner for you. There's one piece of advice that I'm gonna give you, and it's something that I heard from a very older gentleman sitting at a table eating with his wife, and that's if you want a long lasting relationship, you gotta learn how to say yes, dear, and shut the hell up. Not my words, his. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth, but I mean, hey, it might be some solid advice, but
I don't disagree.
well, Derek, man, again, congratulations on everything. We wish you the well moving forward. Hopefully, we get to talk to you a handful of more times before this season's out. But until then, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast. All right, there you have it, Derek Moore, finishing on the podium once again. Got a lot of great stuff going on off. I don't want to say off track because he's on track in the go-karts and winning races on the weekend. So more very busy individual in the racing scene. And we'll see if he can continue his winning ways, his podium ways. We'll see if that consistency continues here in season number 9. But tonight, Moore will finish back in second. And that's going to move us right along and into victory lane. For the first time this season, we're getting to talk to him from the top spot. Christian Abassi going to put that Red Mist podcast machine into victory lane. Christian, how good does it feel to get that first win?
Really good. I mean, couldn't have done it in a better fashion, I guess.
I mean, we've been accustomed to talking to you at the course of the end of these things from last season and a little bit earlier this season, but is there what changed here tonight? I don't want to say your season's been bad, but it's been a little bit of a long haul to get to victory lane. Did you thought you would be here sooner? How many more times you think you can make it? I mean, we're going to Darlington, Vegas around the corner. What can we expect out of you in the 45 leaving here with the checkered flag?
I mean, I'll be honest. I think this was probably one race that I was expecting myself to win here. I know that this is definitely my strength in this league, and I think after having that bad run at Watkins Glen last season, that just lit more of a fire to try and redeem myself somewhat on a road course, because I mean that was definitely a race I just threw away for no reason last season. But keeping it with this season, I mean, I think the previous couple of races so far, either luck just didn't go my way, or Or there was just better drives at the end of the day that I just couldn't hang with. As for the rest of the season, don't really know. Just gonna go back and take one race at a time and see what kind of comes through. I mean, obviously, I think anything short track wise would probably be more in my wheelhouse. But I mean, then again, the talent between last season and this season has only stepped up. So I mean, I'm learning stuff that I didn't learn last season. So that's been a really good positive on my end because it's making me a better driver as well. But it's it's good out there. So yeah.
Well, an amazing drive to start from that fourth position, grab that top spot in the opening 5 laps of tonight's race and keep it out front the rest of the way. Christian, congratulations on the win. We look forward to talking to you a handful of more times before this season is over. So get in gear and let's see what goes on at Darlington. But until then, man, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love views before you finish celebrating tonight?
Yeah, just as always, thank you, Dave, for putting on the broadcast. Sir, again, great to go back and sift through of any parts that I might have missed while going on while I was in the cockpit. So it's good to see the race from a different perspective. And thanks to ASMR for putting on these races. It's always a good group of guys that come out here. I know tonight was a little bit of a runaway, but when we get back to the ovals, it's a much better show, and I really enjoy all the tight racing that we have. And then finally, just want to thank teammates Derek Moore, and then I know Andy wasn't here tonight, so we'll get him back next week. But yeah, I mean, props to Derek for running a really good race. He kept me honest the entire time, so yeah, just really pleased that it wasn't that he was able to be a good sport about tonight, and we had a good little battle there at the beginning, but then I know it just kind of ran its course towards the end of the race there.
Yeah, and so I mean, sometimes that's just the way it is. Maybe just a little bit, one or two just slight misjudgments can compound themselves into some pretty big distances and gaps, especially when dealing with road course racing. But tonight, you were the king of the road, walking away with a win here in the United States Grand Prix. So congratulations on your first win of the season. We hope you keep the momentum heading in the right direction. And Christian, until we talk again, stay safe. And as always, my friend, keep it fast. All right, there you have it. Christian Abate happy with the way things went, and who wouldn't be? From Victory Lane to 45. Gonna park his Chevy with the confetti. For the first time this season, Christian Abate will walk away with the race win. What a night, what a race here from Circuit of the Americas, race number 7. Now behind us, just past the halfway point here in season number 9. A lot of great racing action coming up. So before we begin to cut off the lights and roll up the cords, with the producers hitting those buttons in the background, let's run down tonight's unofficial race results live from Circuit of the Americas for the United States Grand Prix. Christian Abate walks away with the race win. Derek Moore going to finish in second with Nick Burlow. Rounding out your podium drivers here tonight, Doug Argabright going to bring his Hot Wheels 41 machine home in fourth with Jake Doping. Biggest mover of the race, that's Zin. Sponsored number 13 machine will finish in fifth, sliding home sixth will be Tickets Go Happily, number 99 of Nicholas Wing. Lieutenant Carlos Ramos back in 7th with Daniel Jensen. In 8th, Alan Bledsoe. 9th, John Timms finishes out your top 10. Patrick Coro back in 11th. Dave Gage, late race trouble. The 404 will finish in 12th, followed by Zach Miller in TJ Grover. So as we already mentioned, over halfway through the season behind us, drivers going to start eyeballing transitioning into the championship run. A lot on the line coming up. We're going to finish out the month of April with a tough track next week. Darlington Raceway on tap for these American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series drivers. Look for that to be another crazy night of racing action. So as we begin to pack things up and get ready to head down to the beautiful east coast of South Carolina, we'll look forward to joining you next week with all your racing action. But before we go, if you haven't yet, I don't know what you've been doing if you haven't yet, but go ahead and join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet ya in Turn 3.